Top story tonight. Now, yesterday, I headed down to Florida and out on the campaign trail with Governor Sarah Palin, and I also had the chance to speak with Elizabeth Hasselbeck from The View. She was there campaigning with the governor. We're going to play you that entire interview in just a few minutes. Also, I have a special announcement. You want to know what it is? Later in the hour.
Does it concern you?
But first, my interview with Vice Presidential nominee Governor Sarah Palin and her daughter, Piper. Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
You enjoying this?
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Are you proud of your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what do you like? It's warmer in Florida than it is in Alaska, right? Yeah. Now, what do you think? One day maybe you'll run for president or vice president one day? Is that what you really want?
She might.
She might?
She could.
She could? She's got a little mom in her?
She's got the determination.
What do you think of these big crowds with your mom out there? Do you like that? Yeah? Does that excite you? Yeah, you like to go out and wave to people? You know, one of the best moments in the whole campaign is when you were holding your brother. Remember that at the convention? Everybody really liked that.
Yeah, and you got to hide the handheld mics that she finds too, because she'll give a speech, won't you? Up there.
Is that right?
Well.
You know, one of the things, this is behind the scenes. I was just out there, and the crowd is huge, excited. Here you are. You're from Wasilla. Population 8,000, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay, then the governor of Alaska.
Yeah.
And now you're traveling all over the country, everywhere, and huge crowds there to see you.
Yeah.
Life has been transformed in a pretty...
It has, and it's confirmation, though. What I represent is what Americans, I believe, are seeking and really deserving, and that is a change from kind of the good old boy network, the same old politics as usual in Washington, D.C. They want something different. They want new energy, new ideas, new vision. They want government put back on their side, and that's what we're committed to.
Well, what kind of impact? Your husband's over there in the corner watching you right now. You have your daughter here, and you're doing a great job, by the way, except you gave me 5. You nearly ruined my hair. It hurt so much.
Sure.
But, you know, what kind of impact has it had on your family?
We've always been pretty busy and had unconventional schedules, with me working full-time as mayor and Todd out commercial fishing or working up on the North Slope. Unconventional schedules, quite busy, and as governor then too. So practically speaking, not that much of a difference, except that we're on the road, of course, and sleeping in a different hotel every night.
Tough.
But, you know, to tell you honestly, what has changed is some of those unfair shots taken at my kids. You know,
yeah,
that's kind of been disgusting in my opinion. But that's changed, is that there's been a little bit of my faith eroded in some in the world of journalism who would go there.
I've used the term, and this is Sean Hannity's views, not yours, that journalism died in 2008. All right, we got some movement in polls. Very interesting. Yeah. You got AP Battleground, Investors Business Daily. In Zogby, you picked up nearly 8 points in a day. Yeah. So this is a pretty tight race. What do you feel on the road in terms of the numbers as they're running along around the country?
I think it's very close, and I think that there's a lot of enthusiasm. There's a lot of enthusiasm for voters to be able to get the candid, real responses from their candidates. And finally, that's what's changed in the face of this race, Sean, is that finally there's some candidness being forced out of Barack Obama for him to get to fess up on what his plans are for tax increases and spreading the wealth.
All right, well, we're going to walk together, because I'm going to walk you literally right out onto the stage here. No, but one of the things you said yesterday, you said about, you used the term nanny state and spreading the wealth, which this has now become a mantra. Now, Joe Biden had a little bit of a meltdown in an interview not far from here, where you're going to be later today, outside of Orlando and Kissimmee, when he said, well, to each according to his need, from each according to his ability. He didn't like that question.
Yeah, well, you know, I think a principle like that really erodes what it is that we're trying to teach our children in America here, that strong work ethic is important, and that you will be rewarded for your productivity and your work ethic, and to be generous and compassionate with one another. But it should not be government mandated, that generosity and that compassion. That should be our families, our businesses contributing that way. In other words, I don't think that we should be working for government. Government should be working for us.
Right. All right, but Barack Obama, with Joe the Plumber, has become such a big issue in the campaign.
And we're talking about him again today.
You're going to be talking about Joe the Plumber. I saw some signs when I was out there. You know, I'm somebody the bricklayer, I'm somebody the hairstylist.
We got him.
But he doubled down. He was asked this week, do you regret saying spread the wealth? He said no. So what is that philosophy? Because the number one issue, obviously, on people's mind is about the economy.
It sure is.
So what does that mean to you?
Well, it means that finally Joe the plumber was able to accomplish something that none of us have been able to accomplish, and that is to get Barack Obama to candidly, finally state what his true intentions are for his tax increases. And that is to take more from our families, to take more from our businesses, what they have produced and earned, and then spread that out according to his own priorities. And with an Obama, Pelosi, and Reid trifecta there that could potentially be controlling Washington, D.C., I think our economy is in a world of hurt. Because as Joe the plumber suggested, that hints at socialism is what he said. And now is not the time to allow the three to be experimenting with socialism.
What is the difference here? Because this is important. I think this gets to the heart of where we are economically in terms of the debate in the country. And that is, Barack Obama keeps saying 95% of Americans are not going to see their taxes increased, but you're saying to raise any taxes in this campaign is going to hurt the economy, especially in a slowdown.
Well, first, that's not even accurate, the 95% of Americans not being affected by his tax increase proposals. No, we're talking thousands and thousands of small businesses are going to be hit, and that kills jobs. Then these businesses are not able to hire more people, create jobs, get the economy rolling. So I think he's been disingenuous in terms of explaining what that plan is.
Do you think, for example, one of the things he's now bought all this time, he made a promise that he supported public financing in campaigns.
He broke that promise.
He broke that promise, which maybe people could tie together. Or is he going to keep his promise about the level of people he'd raise taxes on? But are you concerned at all about this half-hour infomercial that he's going to run? Because every time he seems to speak off the cuff, that's when he says spread the wealth.
Right.
That's when Joe Biden makes his statement.
No, we'll just go into it. American viewers will go into it just understanding that it's more of the same, and it's scripted, of course.
Right.
So that goes to the heart of my concern about his lack of candidness in terms of telling Americans really what his plans are. So what we have to do is go back to his record and see where he has come from so that we can then understand where he wants to lead America. He voted 94 times for higher taxes. He had all those opportunities to be on our side, the people's side. Instead, he was for bigger government. And now his proposal to increase spending nearly $1 trillion more, the only way he's going to be able to pay for those proposals, increase taxes. He voted, of course, for higher taxes on those middle-class, hardworking Americans making $42,000 a year. That's his record.
That was last year.
Yeah,
now I want to show everybody over here, because this is now, I don't know, I guess it's sort of like if we look here, let our cameraman catch up with us here. All right, thousands and thousands of people await you out there. What is it like, in terms of your life has changed so dramatically? You're going to walk out there. There's a big crowd, very enthusiastic. They're all happy to see you and excited. Did you ever expect that in your life? 9 weeks ago, did you think you'd be in this position?
Never anticipated it, no. But at the same time, Sean, it kind of feels comfortable. Not so much a crowd out there cheering, but again, Americans desiring representation of who they are and what they believe in and what is important to them. And that's what John McCain and I represent. And I think that's what you feel when you're in these rallies. And awesome, amazing, patriotic people showing up to these rallies.
Confident on election night? You guys are going to pull this out?
Absolutely. And John and I have both been in that underdog position over and over again. I, in my career, having to take on the good old boy network more than once, having the scars to prove it, being in the underdog position, it motivates us, makes us work harder. And I believe that, the wisdom of the people will prevail on November 4th.
Governor, I think there's thousands of people waiting for you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thanks. Have fun. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
And coming up, an Obama radio interview from 2001 coming